Hello everyone and welcome to the channel Conspiracy Check. This is about people who feel passionately about people's conspiracy theories. Everyone loves a good conspiracy theory, but we want to fact check them, and just the ones that are false, we want to make that known. So today's episode is about conspiracy theories I've discovered that have been based on the late George Floyd's, um, the circumstances surrounding his arrest. May God bless his soul and may he rest in peace. So there's three different theories I've heard regarding this case, and I'd like to address them one by one and just explain why I think they are BS. First and foremost was an accusation that this is not only including George Floyd, this is including the circumstances and the officers around his death. So, to start with, I've heard a rumor that both him and the officer who had the knee on his neck were both porn actors and known actors. And how it may be true that George Floyd did perform in a porn film, that has nothing to do with him deserving or not deserving to have the knee behind his neck. It's a profession just like anything else. But however, addressing the bit about people saying the officer was a porn actor, and it's something in them knowing each other, and that's how it's all a scam. This whole death and everything is, had he been a police officer and a porn star, this isn't conclusive evidence, but in most times, civil servants, when your department finds out that you're a porn star, you won't be able to work because it could bring your department into disrepute or anything like that. So I couldn't see how that officer, I forget his name, how that officer could be a porn star and him getting away with it. Like, I would have expected him to be stood down. And the second accusation is that they knew each other for 12 years, and what's inspired this rumor is that they both used to work at a nightclub as security, um with George working in the club as security on some nights, and the officer, Derek, I think his name is, working on the outside when he's off duty, so as extra security. And in America, they are, a lot of times nightclubs can be very huge, and they interviewed the nightclub owner, and she was explaining how she had employed both of them. She recognized and remembered them, but she doubts herself that they would have known each other. She thought if they were to cross paths, they probably wouldn't recognize each other due to the fact of how he works. The former officer, used to work outside of the club as security, and George Floyd used to work inside the club. So they probably even use or potentially could even be using different entrances and exits to get to the club. However, this is a bit off topic. She did state that he was very more had a like the Derek, the officer, he was more on his trigger finger, if that makes sense, when it was an African American night compared to a Hispanic night. She was like, all the former police, whenever they were on an African American night at the same nightclub, they were more ready to use excessive force, if that makes sense. But anyway, moving on to the third rumor. Some people, when they're doing the recordings and speaking about the way he got killed, some people have tried to allege that they were police officers that came and put George Floyd into the ambulance. Therefore, it was all a conspiracy, and it was a staged death by the police. And why I'd wanted to debunk that is it doesn't take a rocket scientist to even get to the bottom of this. If you Google the uniform of the Minnesota EMS, Emergency Medical Services, uniforms, and you check that on Google, they literally look like police officer uniforms. So that's why people have been quick to jump to conspiracy theories and allege that this was a staged death, and the police took him and all that type of stuff there. So I just wanted to anyone that didn't have time to look into these and had heard the conspiracies as well, to just to be aware of this and why those 3 points just don't make any sense. And this is what the channel's about. If you guys want me to explore any conspiracies, leave that in the comments, and I will try and investigate to the best of my knowledge. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.